everybody, and welcome to another edition on a sleepy, rainy Monday. This is 30 Days of Recovery. I am your host, Travis the Featherhawk Snyder. I am a person in long-term recovery, and what that means for me is I haven't had a mind or mood-altering substance for over 5 years. I am also the founder of The Scoop Recovers, a grateful recovering addict. And I am pleased to come here and share a little bit of my knowledge and experience, strength, and hope on day 7 of 30 Days of Recovery. I picked a really cool topic for today, and something that, like many of these topics, are very important. And the reason and goal that I am sharing these subjects and sharing on these topics is to use my lived experience in my life growing up, and as somebody who struggled with substance use disorders and who has found a life of recovery. Today, for day 7, the subject is knowledge. And so the hopes and the goals of sharing my lived experiences, simply and humbly, is to hopefully reach people in our communities, and that people can take a little bit of information and some wisdom and some knowledge from my personal lived experience. So when it comes to knowledge, there's so much to talk about. And personally, if you just think about it, as we're growing up, the knowledge that we're taking in and the things that we're learning and the information that is being passed on to us is really going to be a huge determining factor for the course and direction that we take our lives, for the things that we, start to understand and learn. I am one that is very keen on the knowledge of truth and things that are very self-evident in the world. But today I'm going to talk about the knowledge when it comes to recovery. And so I think about, I always like to refer back to my life in addiction. I didn't really open my heart and mind to greater knowledge. I wasn't very, I would say I had a lot of really interesting things that I enjoyed and a lot of things that I was good at. But I think once I got into a space of comfort, or I thought this is what I want to be and want to do, I kind of shut it down. I didn't have this ever expanding idea of learning new things and growing and researching and opening my heart and mind to what this universe has to offer on a more spiritual level, on a more open-minded level. And I can say that my addiction took me into a place where I was mentally, spiritually, and physically broken. And on the flip side, my transformation allowed me to open my heart and mind to great knowledge of the world and wisdom from many different places. One of the most important things that when I talk to somebody that's new in recovery, I always explain to them that became one of the greatest determining factors for the success of my recovery, was my ability to be open-minded and take in as much knowledge as I could. Knowledge of recovery, knowledge of from experiences, knowledge from other people when they're sharing their stories, knowledge from the information that's presented. And I thought, honestly, this was one thing that I was very much shut down to. I always thought that I had all the answers for myself. I always thought that I knew where I needed to be. And so when I got to a point where I awakened and realized that I didn't quite have the knowledge to live a successful, purpose-driven, life that involved more than myself, but also involved the contribution of to the people and spaces around me, I knew that I had to take in a great deal of knowledge. So when I talk to people in recovery, I say open your heart and mind to it. Be very hungry, be very thirsty for it. Be very open-minded. Don't always don't be overly skeptical, but also be to the point that you can crack open any book or maybe get into any corner of the universe, whether it be spiritual stuff, whether it be religion, whether it be different skills, trades, hobbies, life skills, whatever it may be. The key to learning and growing and finding true purpose in life and really finding where you belong and what God has planned for you is to is to really open your heart and mind to great knowledge. Start small though. You know what I mean? We can't take on the world so quickly and think that we're going to learn and understand everything. We will never truly learn and understand everything that this universe has to offer. So I think that's why we all play a unique role in finding what knowledge is going to be presented, what is most important for what our role is here on earth. For me personally, like when I got into recovery, I was just hungry. I was thirsty. I wanted to be something. I've always been a creative person. I'm very blessed and grateful from a young age to my father put the tools in my hands, and I was exposed to a lot of different things. I remember even in high school, I was in shop class. I always loved art class, so I was always doing a lot of creative things. And so when I got into recovery and I started to see maybe through spiritual eyes, I started to utilize, and tap back into that creative side of myself and started to wonder, like, how can I learn all these and use this creativity in order to, take my life into a positive direction, but also maybe help others, take their lives into a positive direction. And it's so interesting because a lot of times we have a lot of big ideas and things that we want to be and what we want to do with our lives, but we're not willing to take those steps to learn. But, it's 2017, and we have this vast library of knowledge called the internet. And so when it comes to any subject, just about anything, there's information out there. One of the things that I picked up very early on is when I got into fitness, actually before I got into fitness, I created a brand called Dance Candy. And I'll never forget, I paid somebody like $70 to build a logo for that brand. Part of that brand was to make bracelets and necklaces that would, raise awareness and also to give back. It was a charitable brand. And I was like, wow, I can't afford to be paying people that amount of money to build simple logos. And so I started to do a little research, and I found a program called CorelDRAW. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn how to use this program. So what did I do? I tapped into that library of knowledge, and I started to read stuff online. I started to watch videos. I started to watch other people putting out their knowledge and understanding of things. And then I was watching that, and I would start to use these tools. And then over time, I started to develop the skills to do graphic design. And, here about 5 years later, self-taught, it's actually something that I'm using as part of my career, as part of my income. I use it to build websites, to do graphics, to do everything you see here. This logo right here, let's see if I can point right. This one right here, that was done on CorelDRAW. And, 5 years ago, I didn't know how to do that. But because I became thirsty and hungry for knowledge, and I wanted to actually take that extra step and learn and grow, I'm able to do that today, amongst many other things, including a live production. And so I tell people, start small, find the things that you love to do, and do the research, and start to do them, put it into practice. When it comes to even the spirituality, when it comes to living a positive life, it's you can take in as much knowledge and information, but it really doesn't become super useful until you actually put it into practice. And so, if you're learning stuff, like even with the 12-step groups, you can learn all about the 12 steps, but if we're not putting them into practice, what use are they? It's just like anything in life. We just gotta, we gotta want to be hungry and thirsty for the knowledge on how to do things and then put it into practice. For me personally, in my recovery, I can never get enough. I love learning, and I love trying new things, and I love discovering what this knowledge can bring into my life. And then I love using this knowledge to share ideas and information and inspiration and love and compassion with the rest of the world, which is pretty much partly what Skook Recovers is. And so for day 7, knowledge. And I challenge everybody out there, be hungry for it. If you're in recovery, be hungry for the knowledge of life. Get on YouTube, watch videos, watch things about spirit science, watch things about spirituality, watch motivational speakers, watch some TED Talks, read books, get around people who are in recovery, get around, people, spiritual leaders and pastors and people of the church, and just keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. Like, I've been to Jehovah's Witness meetings. I've been to one of them. I've been to multiple different churches. I've been in 12-step groups. I just was like, I'm keeping my heart and mind open. I want to know the knowledge of the world and the wisdom that's been passed on, so I can learn how to live a better life on a daily basis. And so that's it for day 7 on 30 days of recovery. And we'll see you tomorrow. That'll wrap up week 1. All right, so we got like 7 days, and this is going to be 30 days of recovery. So that means we got 23 more days of this. So looking forward to the next topic, and I hope everybody has enjoys the rest of their sleepy rainy Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow with another edition of 30 days of recovery. Peace, everybody.